I'm looking forward to getting back with the family after the races, David. You know, I spent a lot of Father's Day right here, and it's always a special day for me. Just brings back a lot of memories with Dad.
Got a special Father's Day celebration right here at Laurel Park for all the dads. They're going to have a great time. Going to have cigars and bourbon and a buffet, and we weren't invited.
He might check in and give us a little late invitation.
I hope so. But then again, we have 11 races to gamble on today, including 2 special jump races. The early daily double, which means we'll have 3 special value pick 5 bets instead of our usual 2. And of course, the value pick 5 has a low 12% takeout. The first steeplechase race of the day is our first steeplechase race at Laurel Park in a quarter century.
It's been forever. Working down at Colonial Downs on the go back, and that was a fixture there. I mean, we were in 1 or 2, it seemed like, every weekend, maybe more than that. So it's been a while, though, since I've charted the jumps. Hopefully we get it done okay.
Plus, we have the $100,000 Stormy Blues Stakes. 3-year-old fillies going 5.5 on the turf competitive field.
Oh, it is a competitive field. Unfortunately, we're going to have a couple scratches in that race. A key horse, the Clement horse, is not going to make it down from New York. But interesting, Roja, I thought was really, really good. Transferring to the turf, of course, last time out for Grand Motion. That's going to be my top selection, so secret's out of the bag. But that's a good group, interesting group.
Weather conditions, if you see our teeth chattering, it's because it is chilly for this time of the year. The main track is good. The turf is firm. Our first post time is 12:10. The winds are rolling east at 11 miles per hour, 63 degrees. I need a heater.
Well, we drop about 20 from yesterday. Oof, it is chilly. We had the steamy Friday yesterday, beautiful, and no doubt a chill in the air for this Father's Day Sunday. And let's get things started with the main track. It's going to be interesting, sealed right now and good, but early pick 5 action as well.
Early pick 5 action, starting with race number 1. Here's the first of our 2 jump races today at about 2 1/8 miles. It's a maiden special weight. We got a purse of $40,000. Take out the also eligibles, the 11 through the 13. This is the first leg of the first of 3 value pick 5 wagers. It's the best bet in the business because of the low takeout. 12% takeout. Maximize your earning potentials with low takeout. And Keith, you're going to maximize with your early ticket.
I'm going to let Mac take the
Mac's got the ticket. I apologize. She is the steeplechase guru.
Yeah, she's the guru. And I want to thank Tim Tulloch for kind of, laying out what's going to be going on in these hurdle races. 9 hurdles. They're going to go over 9 hurdles. And once they hit that 9th, it's going to be a sprint home from like the far turn to the wire. We will hand time these races. And $32 ticket. Early value pick 5 for Mackenzie Pfeiffer. Yeah, we're going to lay in her hands for these first 2. 4, 5, 6, and 9. She sees this race, this maiden hurdle, wide open. Race 2 with the 1 and the 8. Palio, I'm glad I landed on that. That was my top selection. I was doing these picks, and trust me, it's a little bit of some guesswork for me, but I was glad to see that I was in line a little bit with Mackenzie Pfeiffer. Race 3, it's a single. It's the 5. It'll do. He will be a popular single at 3 to 5 on the morning line. Race 4, 7, and 9. Let's finish things up for this early value pick 5. 2, 4, 6, 9. Beaten Claimer in the 5th, going 5.5. Yes, tricky race. Ellinger, got a video spotlight of that runner. Didn't have the cleanest of trips 2 races back. So that's early pick 5, $32. Get invested.
Let's start things off with your top pick in the opener. That's the number 4, Cartographer. And Cartographer crashed through the wing last time out, but he ran in a Potomac point-to-point hurdle going 2 miles on May 18th, won that race. This horse has shown some ability on the jumps.
Yeah, you go back to the 2-back tri-middle. We're going to a firm, harder turf course. I just see St. James the Great. It's a horse I'm familiar with a little bit on the flats. And I see risk-taking. There's a horse that came back second off a layoff recently and ran big. That's going to be good enough for me. Neil Morris, not lighting things up right now this year, but in the past, and I remember down at Colonial, was pretty good with these hurdle horses, I'll take a little shot. I think we'll get an okay price on Cartographer.
Sometimes when in doubt, you go with the Hall of Famer. Jack Fisher has the 5 Derby Street, a horse that was purchased for $67,000 in November. Immediately went to the jumps. April 5th, ran 3rd in an Old Dominion point-to-point, going 2.25 miles. 5th, 2 starts back, got beat 20 last time out. A horse that might want, I think, a little bit more distance, in my opinion, but another one that's faced good company. I like seeing Lord Flincher and risk-taking in that race, 2 starts back. And the horse that beat him last time, the Wizard's Well, is a little bit of a speedball. So I think Derby Street's going to see it out. Yeah. You have a stat, though, that makes me nervous.
Well, I looked it up on Stats Raceland. So the first-time gelding angle, I've got 1 for 25. So if Jack Fisher can come to me and if we need to fix anything, that really surprised me when I saw that stat. And out of that race, though, last time out, one of the horses didn't make the course to complete the course. Mooney Love, I believe, came back to win at Malvern.
Mosey is your second selection in here. This is a mare taking on the boys. Mosey ran quite well against fellow fillies. 2 starts back at Aiken. Last time out ran 3rd against the males. This barn is very, very sharp. Kate Dalton won the Grade 1 Iroquois, I think, on May 10th with a horse named Aban.
You got a little history on the 6th, too. I'll let you talk about British Royalty coming in here for Catherine Nielsen.
British Royalty's the big name in this race. This horse won the Breeders' Stakes in 2021. That's the 3rd jewel in Canada's Triple Crown. So he had a lot of class on the flat. And when you look at his jump form, I mean, they ran him in a hurdle race on April the 27th. He got pulled up. That's never a great sign, but he ran really well in his most recent start over some soft going. Maybe there's some give in the ground after rain last night. We know British Royalty has class, and we know he'll stay all day. Another horse, wonder if this distance is a little sharp.
I think it'll be okay. I think that horse is just going to be just fine. When you really break it down, this looks like a highly competitive group. Again, I'm used to looking at the flat racing, but I'm just kind of keying up horses. There's something telling me this could be a tight one down to the wire. 4.563 for me, 5.964 for Dan in the opener. The maiden hurdles at about 2 1/8.
Now we'll go to race number 2. It's also at about 2 1/8, and it's an allowance race for 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. The field stays intact with a very competitive field of 8. You're going to go with Polio in here for Jack Fisher.
Well, jockey-trainer combo, really, really strong. Close to 35%. That's the first thing that kind of jumped out at me, and that's another thing. If you're unfamiliar, as I am, a lot, I see some of these on the go back percentages. They play out, and a lot of these races too on the go back. You didn't have a chance to wager, So now you've got an opportunity. But Paleo, what I liked, good races at Colonial.
Yes.
And a blowout victory last summer, breaking the maiden by 14, beating a next out winner. The configuration of the course today definitely could be to his liking. Gets the firmer ground. I'll take a shot with Palio.
I think the firm ground could be key for this horse because he was a dominant winner in that race at Colonial you mentioned last summer, and then had a couple of mishaps, but most of those races came over soft going. Ran on a firm ground last time out, ran much better. The runner-up from that race came back to win an allowance over jumps. This horse just looks like a really strong fit in this spot. Awesome Strike is the number 6, and this is a horse who's been banging around the flat for a while for Henry Walters and Robbie Bales. Looks like he's taken to the jumps very nicely. A winner 2 starts back in his sort of hurdle debut. He ran in a point-to-point race on March 16th, finished 3rd at Warrenton, but then he won at Camden, and he finished 4th last time out. I wonder if there's enough pace. It's hard to discuss pace into it at 8-mile races on jumps, but I do see a lot of speed types in here. Maybe also Strike picks up some pieces at a price.
Yeah, one of those speed types might be down to the inside, the 2 side for Todd Wyatt. Evan Dwan, what a year. He's having a really, really good strike rate for this rider. Drew clear handily up front, just relaxed, stretches out a little bit. Off of a 2-year layoff, that victory was. And then I think might have followed it up with another run on a
He certainly did. This horse, as you mentioned, came off the 2-year layoff. He won in a hurdle race. Then he ran on the flat on May 18th in a point-to-point, going 1.5 miles, and he won that race. So that layoff, he's shown no rust. These connections have obviously done a great job. And this is a horse with a ton of back class on the flat. He was facing some tough group competition in France to begin his career. How about Madaquet's Arrow? This is another mare taking on the boys. Another horse coming off of a win in a point-to-point flat race on May 18th at Potomac, going 14 furlongs, won that race against the boys last time out. Didn't run very well, but a win or two starts back against girls.
Yeah, that's going to be a question mark for me. I'll toss in the one. Travis, I think Mackenzie's going to have some videos for us too, so you're going to get a chance to get a little bit of a feel. She'll describe some things out, and for the novices in the jump world, she's going to give you some good information.
Travis Horace is real consistent, 8 times on the board from 11 starts on the jump, including a stakes placing 2 starts back. 8-2-1-5 for Keith, 6-3-8-1 for me as we kick off the 50-cent pick 4 in race number 2.
I tried, Dan. I tried to act like a.
You did good. You did very, very well. I think you fooled some of the people some of the time. Race number 3, we're going 5.5 furlongs. We're going to begin our flat action here. This is a race that's going to feature a heavy favorite, and it's also the first leg of our special value pick 5. Our special Father's Day middle value pick 5, mandatory payout in this one beginning in race number 3. 5.5 furlongs. It's a nickel beaten claimer, 3-year-olds and up. Keith, here's your ticket.
I hope it's a special ticket on Father's Day for me. Not to be too selfish, but I could use a little hit. Race 3, single to 5, it'll do. Race 4, 2 deep, the 7 Jewish Mother, and the 11 Seep Key scratch out of there. Peony, the 6 is scratch. Also scratched the 1 Carolina Sun. But that Jewish Mother was sharp last time out. We'll try to take this field coast to coast. Seep, another video spotlight horse we'll have for you. Had some trouble last time out. Race 5 with the 2 and the 3. Ellinger, video spotlight. Race 6, this is a tough one for me. This reminds me of the race yesterday, that 5.5 A other than. A lot of the horses look the same. This is a quality bunch going 5.5 in this 2 other than. I go 2, 4, 5, and 6. Can't believe I left out Swill. Is another one you could add in. There's a lot of horses that deserve a look in race number 6. I'm going to complete this middle value pick 5 with the 1, 5, and 13. Your best value there in race 7 would be the 1 Wacolia Lady. Scratch the 4 at Lilliput out of race number 7 for a $24 middle value pick 5.
Take advantage of that low 12% takeout. Race number 3, as you mentioned, a popular single is going to be the odds-on morning line favorite, the number 5 It'll Do. We have a video spotlight for It'll Do's most recent start against similar company, I would say, at Laurel. Just got up close to the pace, 3 wide, made the lead, and was on his way. And he just looks like the main speed this afternoon for Brittany.
He really does. Unless somebody jumps up and improves dramatically through the opening quarter, their internals, I see It'll Do. If he breaks cleanly, it's going to be his race from the get-go. 3 to 5 this particular day. And what I like is denying Super Needy. The horse has been holding pretty good form. Had a trouble trip yesterday, but It'll Do. This is attack mode. Working through the conditions, now down to the 5 and the claiming level. Again, I think if he pops the latches, he'll be able to rate and just keep going.
A nice performance there by It'll Do. And this stat I sent in was before Brittany had a winner in the finale yesterday between May 28th and June 11th. 8 for 19, 42%, 225 ROI. Strong finish. He's going to hope for a strong finish in this race. We have not seen strong finish in, 429 days, but at least he has won off long layoffs in the past. He won his maiden off a 271-day layoff. His last race was for a nickel going a mile and a 16th. They're turning him all the way back to 5.5. And while he has had a win at 5.5 in the past, I wonder if the way this race shapes up, he'll have too much to do.
He very well could. And again, It'll Do. If he brings anything close to that race last time out, he should win it at a very short price. But strong finish has, certainly the ability, I think, to close into this group. I think we're going to have some chasers. If those chasers are a little bit more patient and don't go too soon, maybe not. But I think strong finish with Villalobos, who's riding well. Turf dirt. I think it just saved ground and closed things up and maybe complete this exacta. Sumo, I didn't think we got a terrible trip last time and took the rating a little bit headstrong early. Just to fade. He's got back races on his page, but he seems to be going a little bit in the wrong direction.
That's really the key. He has to summon up some of that backlash. But I don't mind him turning back to 5.5. I think that's good for him. Southern Horse, I just wish he had a little bit more tactical speed because his race on a wet track back last September I thought was pretty good. He didn't break very well. He was at the back of the pack. He came to the outside, and he really ran on for 4th behind Rad Paisley with a good gallop out. Last time out, they ran him a 1-turn mile against Morning Thoughts in an open claimer. So So this is a pretty solid drop. It's just that, like Strong Finish, doesn't have a lot of speed. It's a short field, and the horse to beat has a pace edge.
I tell you what, I glazed over, hazed, and confused at first look, second look, third look on this card. You got J-Rod now. J-Rod's going to go ahead and ride. They were able to get that one. It was a no-rider listed on the overnight. The Laurel figures work, and there's a little moisture in this racetrack. 63, and I know it's back in December. Sarah's Band Camp, win no joke. Okay, that puts this horse right into the mix today.
It'll Do, though, is going to be a short-priced favorite, and the horse to catch and beat in race 3. 5-1-3-2 for Keith, 5-1-4-3 for me. Let's move on to race number 4, 5.5 furlongs on the turf for fillies and mares 3 and up, which have never won 2 races. The claiming price 16 down to 12.5. Let's take out the 1 Carolina Sun, the 2 On a Proud Note, the 6 Peony, and the 16 Afterneath. The 15 Born Charmer is in, and Forrest Boyce opts for Born Charmer instead of the 13 Monster Summer. Andres Chavez has that call. Gene Briseno rides the number 10, Sip in Time. This is the first leg of another 50-cent pick 4 wager this afternoon. We've got plenty of great betting opportunities, multi-leg wagers, competitive races. I won't be surprised if this pick 4 pays well. And Jewish Mother, I think, is helped by the scratch of Peony. Jewish Mother, we have a video spotlight, looked really good last time out. Getting back to turf for Brittany.
And this was the key for me. It's the sharpness right out of the gate. And this horse has shown some speed in the past, but 21-3 the opening quarter. I might have had a little bit of a run up there. That might have been on the setting of 75. I had to double check that. But in that race was a pretty quick horse, Delacour's down inside, who I thought was going to be able to clearly make the lead. Jewish Mother said no, went right ahead, got the lead. Again, this is a race just like It'll Do's race. Who's going to go ahead and run? Possibly Rapida Rosa, who's shown a little speed on the go back. Again, if this horse is left alone, super, super dangerous for BTR.
And here's Brittany's stat. Last out maiden winners making their second start after a 120-plus day layoff, 46% to 258 ROI. I agree with you that Rapido Rose is going to try to go with Jewish Mother early. I think Sheldon, though, saw last time out you can be aggressive with this filly. She will stay, and I think they're going to send once again. Let's talk a little bit about Seep. This is a horse that's always kind of hinted at a bit of potential and might be racing herself back into shape for the third start off a layoff.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You see the comment last time, Unruly steadied it to 3.87 wide. Did we add this video or not? I'm not sure. Yeah, here we got it. Thank you, guys. And around the turn, we're going to pick this horse up, I believe at 9 this particular day. Right there, steadied off of heels, had a little bit of momentum leaving the 3/8 pole, and it's going to have to go ahead and work outward out to about the 7 path. And if you look at her back races, she's never really brought a finish like this. And you know what? We talked about Villalobos, the way he's riding on the turf, getting horses to sit back and make one run. This just might be the ticket to victory for Seep today.
Yeah, Seep is a course that will get a bit unruly. She's done it now in her last 2 starts, so I'm really not too worried about it because she can run like that after acting up behind the gate. That's perfectly fine with me. And maybe she's starting to live up to her pedigree. Isn't she a half to Faya, who is a really good turf sprinter? And Suzanne Satenius, one of the more underrated trainers on the entire circuit. Born Charmer gets into the body of the race and should be dismissed at a pretty big price, cutting back drastically in distance. But I thought this horse is in sneaky good form. Claimed by Gregory Wilson 2 starts back. They stretched around on the turf, and all in all, I thought that was a good enough effort. I like her cutting back in distance. I like that the blinker's on. More importantly, I like that Forrest stays on.
Yeah, Forrest stays on. She opts off Cousin Joni's horse. That's my sentimental pick, is going to be the 13 Monster Summer. Hey, you got to root for the family. But no, Born Charmer sat in a position that was okay last time out. They went so slow. Just they didn't have that chance to kind of pick things up. Did her best running, sprinting on the main track. There is some turf from this family. Yes, dangerous with the blinkers on. Greg Wilson, when he claims, you pay attention.
And she's unexposed on the turf. Several of these horses have had chances. One of them, a horse like the number 4, Charmin, can contend in here. I thought Charmin ran a little bit better than it looks at Pimlico 2 starts back. Just didn't break very well that day, and then was saving ground down inside and really just didn't threaten. Last time out was better.
Yeah, it was better, but still didn't have had the easier of trips against Seep. Seep got the better of her late. See if she can pick things up a little bit. 2-bag number. That works certainly against this group. This is kind of a wide open race outside of Jewish Mother doesn't fire, this thing could pay boxcars.
Absolutely. Sherman last time out, though, was, I think, a little bit close to the pace. I'd
Too
like to
close?
see that maybe she takes back. Maybe if Rapido Rosa goes after the 7. I don't want to see Sherman being the one doing the dirty chasing
Right.
work, going after Jewish Mother. That could work against her. We'll see if Jewish Mother can make it 2 in a row. 7-11, 9-4 for Keith. 7-15, 4-9 for me in race number 4. Race number 5 is on deck. We're going 5.5 furlongs on the main track. It's a claiming race for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. 10,000 down to 8,000 is our claiming price. Scratch the 8. Scrappy T. Lee ran the other day. The 3 Big Ton 10 will be ridden by Angel Cruz. Let's start things off with your top selection in here. The number 2 Ellinger. We have a video spotlight.
I'm going to give this guy one final shot. This is the 2-back trial on the main track of Pimlico, right there. Wasn't prepared at the break.
missed it
And I don't know if
completely.
we can go back again. The head was turned slightly as the gates opened. That's it. That's all you needed. Then a little bit of a check soon after. But what I like is the last 3/16 of a mile. He was able to ramp things back up, show some willingness through the stretch. We thought he was going to run better on the turf last time. On the bottom side, we saw it there, the Vacoma. It just didn't happen. I think in here he can sit a very good stalking trip. We saw Matilda Burnham give a very good rating ride on the turf yesterday for Niall Seville at a good number. Maybe that's what's going to be what we're going to need. It's going to be the key for Ellinger. Come away cleanly. There's some horses that want to be forward. A horse like Stormy Hollow, Lou's Birthday, and repeating, of course, I think we'll take stalking trip. But I think Ellinger, all in all, against that group, Metagooch, Morong, that was a little better field.
Another horse going turf to dirt, and here's my top selection. That's the 9 General Maximus. I thought this horse ran okay over a sloppy track 2 starts back. Broke really sharp that day and was pushing a 5-ply pace while 3 wide and in between horses. Maybe being in between kind of rattled this horse a little bit because he backed out of it on the turn, but then re-rallied just a little bit to give an even performance. One of the horses that he finished ahead of that day came back to run second in a race at Delaware with a 64 Beyer speed figure. The question is there enough pace for him to run at? Because recently it seems like they want to rate him and take him back. I think if Weston Hamilton lets him flow out of the gate, he can sit a nice outside stalking trip and not be too far out of it.
There's no real blazers in here. I think he's got enough natural speed. If they just kind of nudge a little bit out of the gate, he should be able to get a forward position to stalk and kind of pounce. Stormy Hollow is mixing it up, and he doesn't mind a battle. I like that. Just tough beat last time against Doc Solican. He kind of had a blowout win prior to that. You don't have Big Ton 10 into the mix, and I'm just going to pass on that race last time out. It would show the speed inside, caught in a duel, backed up. I think this horse wants to sprint. I think this horse wants to make a move from mid-back. Going to have a chance to do it today for Farrier.
Angel Cruz, of course, gets the mount on Big Ton 10, just cutting all the way back from a mile and a 16th to 5.5. I agree with you. I think that this horse probably is going to be appreciating the shorter distance, but this is a really drastic turn back. But this is a huge drop. Even I know she was in against 3-year-olds last time out. He was in against 3-year-olds last time out, but now he's in against now-winners at 2 Life after facing an open, a couple of multiple winners or 2 in that race. Lou's Birthday, I think, is dirtied up coming into this race. And I think he has a chance in here because he's coming back. I love that he's wheeling back on short notice. After he won at Penn National, he then ran in a very tough spot against Just a Fair Shake in that 2-turn 62.5 race where he was chasing a very fast pace. Then he's on turf in 2 of his next 3 starts. And I don't think he cared really for the slop 2 starts back. I think that this horse is a little bit better than he looks on paper, and I also think he has a little bit more release speed than we've seen.
I was going to say, if he wakes up and you want to see that wake up, the improvement is J-Rod going to say, let's go ahead and go and be very aggressive from the gates.
2, 3, 9, and 6. One more chance for Ellinger after that off-slow wide rally last time out. I would like General Maximus. I'd like to see him maybe sitting outside stalking trip. Again, 2, 3, 9, 6 for Keith, 9, 2, 7, 6 for me. 5 down, 6 to go. We'll be back with the 20-cent Chesapeake Pick 6 in a moment.
At the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, we believe in giving every thoroughbred a second chance.
And thanks to you, the owners, trainers, breeders, and every supporter,
You've created a ripple effect of change that's helping these magnificent animals move on to new careers and safe, fulfilling lives after racing.
Every single donation, whether big or small, is contributing to a brighter future.
But this race is just beginning. Because of you, we have gained incredible momentum and we're ready for more.
Welcome back to Today at the Races. I'm Dan. He's Keith. Happy Father's Day, everybody at home. We're getting set for race number 6. Very competitive race, going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. It is for 3 and up, which has never won 2 other than maiden claiming or starter. Optional claiming 40 down to 32. Take out the AE, the 12 Seaver, the 10 Captain Dusty will be ridden by Jamie Rodriguez. This is our Jackpot Super High 5 event. Look at that carryover, $16,000. And again, great race for the Super Jackpot High 5. I mean, Jackpot Super High 5. 11 horses, and it can go any way.
Really challenging races. Race number 6 is 2 other than. I like this race a lot. Let's talk about our top selection. I think we both were on the 4. Oh, also, we've got the Chesapeake Pick 6, so don't miss out on that. $8,063 in the carryover, a 20% takeout. Jackpot wager is the Chesapeake Pick 6. Great idea. We both agree this horse getting back to the turf, this is it. I mean, not a little tighter on the main track. I think this horse is really, really good in this kind of a spot that consistently plays out for this Phil Capuano runner.
Yeah, I think he needed that last race. It was his first start in 6 months. And while I'm sure they were reticent to run the horse on dirt, he probably gained a ton of fitness. And we have a trainer stat for Phil Capuano, and great idea. And this barn's been going very well between May 9th and June 8th. 5 for 22, 23%, a positive ROI. This horse has tactical speed. And I thought ran well 2 starts back. His final start last year kind of got bumped leaving the gate. Was in tight, I thought, tracking in between horses, dropped down to the rail, had to split again. Just had to navigate his way through traffic. There's not a ton of speed in this race. I'd like to see him stay close.
No, I think he can stay fairly close. I believe Where's Ray, Coastal Long are going to be a couple that go. Maybe Wild West Justice for Brittany and Toledo with a good break will be out there vying for contention. But yeah, I see somebody from just a couple lengths out of it turning for home. And great idea. Caramanos knows this horse like, the back was saying he can go and get this horse in a position and finish up to the second wire.
We have several horses coming out of a race at Pimlico on May the 16th we want to show you. One of them is Barzini, who is making his first start since returning to the circuit. Let's take a look at that video spotlight featuring Barzini, Where's Ray, and Coastal Long.
All right next to each other. 7, 8, and 9 this particular day, and just pick your spot. There's going to be trouble. There it starts for Barzini, number 7, in those lighter silks, a check. And we've got the comment, steady, check multiple times. Into the turn, it's going to be the 9. Coastal Long's going to get himself in a little bit of a jackpot going ahead and steadying there. Where's Ray? He kind of was able to escape, but he still runs big. He kind of has to work outside and made a run like I didn't quite think he'd close that much, but I think he can be more forward against this group. But there's Barzini again down inside in the yellow cap, just hemmed in, nowhere to go. Coastal Long inside is going to go ahead and try to make this run up the rail. Checks 3/16. This is just
It's
really
a great
tough
race for trip handicappers to try to figure out who is compromised the most. You could argue that Barzini, still over and behind horses, is trying to make a little bit of a run and is doing so. Coastal Long is down on the inside, but these horses ran a lot better than it looks on paper, and you certainly want to give them a chance. This is a race that will likely come down to trip, and these horses are due for a little bit better luck. Where's Ray ran really well that day. He was second. Where's Ray? I like that he showed some of that old speed last time out. It could come in very handy in this race.
Yeah, I like the way he's kind of come back into the form for Salzman. I expect a big effort, a stalk and a pounce kind of move. Maybe he decides to mix it up on the front, but when it gets all said and done, the way this turf course is played just the last week or two, a little bit further back and sustainable rally, I think I can trust Great Idea.
The number 1 Swill, though, has had Great Idea's number, whether it be on turf or whether it be in that main track race, finishing ahead of Great Idea last time out. This horse has an extra race, so this will be the 3rd start of the layoff, even a little bit more fitness for Hugh McMahon. Just a rock-solid horse, breaking from the inside, might work out that pocket trip.
He's going to have to do it, and he's going to have to do it without getting into traffic. This is going to be an interesting run into the far turn.
I do want to mention the 8 Stormy Flight, who's going to be a very, very big price in this race. A horse getting Lasix for the first time. I don't mind him cutting back to 5.5. That was a pretty explosive late run, 3 starts back, and this is a second start off a long layoff after kind of being aggressive last time out against better horses.
I thought he was going to be a really good horse, and he may turn the corner. Last time out at the mile, a little bit of a fade. This horse reminds me of the horse. Now, he won't be he's going to be a bigger price. I think he's going to weigh double, but not as much as that Susan Cooney horse yesterday. You saw how that horse improved 2 to 3. You might see that with Stormy Flight. This is an interesting horse. He will be used in my exactas, definitely in the tries underneath, and maybe a couple bucks. If somehow he slips away 18, 20 to 1, I'll bet a couple bucks. I always thought this horse had some talent.
And perhaps we'll see some speed from Karahi despite turning back in distance. This horse has shown speed going 5.5 in the past, and it was in that James W. Murphy finishing ahead of Stormy Flight. Fun race,
yes,
hard-hitting turf sprinters. 4, 5, 6, and 2 for Keith. 4, 1, 11, and 6 for me. Race number 7, we're going to stretch things out in distance a little bit. We're going to go a mile on the turf. It is a maiden claiming race for fillies and mares, 25 down to 20. Maryland breds eligible for the 30. Scratch out the 4, Lilliput. Scratch the 12, Lord's Lady. Yomar Ortiz has the mount on the 1, Wicolia Lady. This is our final of 3 value pick 5s of the day. Again, take advantage of that low 12% takeout. Our friend and colleague Callie Francois has a ticket for us.
Callie ticket, singling Kieran McGee, the 13 Hysterics. So horse that was definitely hampered by a no flow last time out. Race 8 with the 1, 3, and 7. War Master trying to stay perfect at the 7 furlong distance for Jamie Ness. Race 9 with the 2 and the 3. Yeah, Claire Court, I like that one as a price. Callie could pick there, and the 3 Intel Agent. Looking for that one to make a run from off the pace. Race 10. 7, 8, 11. That is the Stormy Blue Stakes on the Dahlia Turf Course, and we're going to complete this 12% late value pick 5 in race 11, 2, 3, and 8. Kick starting us again. It's going to be his race to lose on the front end if he breaks cleanly. Midnight Renegade. It's a horse that you like today, Dan, and we've got a stat for Midnight Renegade a little bit further down the line. It's a $27 late value pick 5.
Race number 7, we'll start with your top selection, the 5 Canadian Bear, a horse that's really improved since being given Lasix by Lacey Gaudet. It's the 3rd start of the form cycle. She has tactical speed, just missed in a good performance last time.
Yeah, really good. And you see that in the short comments. 4 wide turns last time, off the break, 4 to 3 wide, and a little bit of a tire. Mile distance, I think, is perfect. Let's go ahead and get some cover. Let's not be so wide every step of the way. And if we do, it's going to enhance the run from the quarter pole home.
Hysterics is the number 13. That's Callie's single in here. Your second pick, my third pick. This horse was the beaten favorite last time out. I really thought maybe she was a little bit too confidently ridden that day. She was taken in hand in a race where she was wired. Ruiz was sitting very confidently on her, turning for home, and she just ran out of ground. She was claimed out of that race by Kieran McGee. We do have a trainer stat for Kieran. First after the claim in a maiden claimer. 6 for the last 19, 32%, a $3.43 ROI. I think the key for Hysterics is just get her covered up in behind horses, maybe in the second flight, ease out and kick on.
I always said it ad nauseum here. Villalobos has been able to work out those kind of trips on the turf course, so he's getting the hang of it, and he's finding the cover. He's going to need that to carry. I think there's going to be a little bit more speed in here for Hysterics to set things up. A horse like Granwell will be forward. Radiant Tones can be close. There's a couple other ones I think that might go ahead and send. Wicolia Lady to the inside. Comes out of the toughest race, Mopo. We're going to see next week, right?
In the stake, yeah, right.
I tell you, Mopo was really, really good at
an allowance race, yeah.
But what about this horse, Wicolia Lady?
I thought this horse ran well against, again, just much better horses last time out. Mopo came back, won with an 82 buyer speed figure, and Wicolia Lady, again, just got the right pace set up. They were going very fast, just was outrun early, saved ground at the back, and just didn't do much. The maiden specials are probably a little bit too tough for Wicolia Lady. She dropped in for a tag 2 back on dirt. She ran well. She dropped in for a tag 4 back on dirt. She hit the board. I think this class is what she wants, and I think breaking from the rail, Yomar Ortiz has some options if he can get close if this pace isn't very fast.
I like it.
Ferris Allen's had a couple of winners already this month.
And that's the old outside, the inside for me, a little drop in class.
Radiant
for
Tones,
Wicolia Lady. Radiant Tones, yeah, I think this horse is a user here for Milosevic. Last time out, the state-bred, state-sired maiden special weight. Another one hung out wide, 4 wide turns, and these horses, sometimes the miles, it just pushes the limit. So you need a perfect kind of a trip. Brasino, he's going to have some work to do, but her numbers certainly work against this group. A little bit of I stepped sideways, I think, off of that last race last time and back in against the Phillies.
That's the key. And I thought 2 starts back, Radiant Tone set a very legitimate pace off of a long layoff. 24.808 for the first quarter. They never got a breather. 24.45 for the second quarter. Dueling inside a horse that tired to finish third. This horse ran second. Last time out, notice, broke from the far outside post position. This is a speed. Just could not get to the front because 3 horses to the inside went, forced to rate, finished okay. I think this time Radiant Tones gets to do what she wants to do, and that is jump out to the front.
She gets a little help too. Lilliput being scratched was a horse that was going to be forward in race number 7. Tricky race. I hopefully get a little value with Canadian Bear at a 6-1 on the morning line. Hysterics, a big player first off the claim for Kieran McGee.
5-13-1-8 for Keith, 1-8-13-14 for me in race number 7. Race number 8 is coming up. 7 furlongs, one of our features of the day, an optional claiming race, 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2. The optional claiming range 40 down to 32. Take out the 6, Play Harder. His stablemate Ban Camp will now be ridden by Mr. Toledo, and that's where we're going to start after we talk about the final 50-cent pick 4 wager. Bandcamp's a horse I want to use in the pick 4. Bandcamp has some tactical speed. He's going to have to use it in here because there's not a lot of early gas, but at least we have a video spotlight that shows this horse can still step off the layoff.
Yeah, it was an okay opening quarter, 23-2, not super demanding. As you said, no run up at Pimlico, but Bandcamp did get position, saving ground early, gets put to a real hustling ride past the 5/16. It works outward. Tries to take aim on Augusta Melody, does, just couldn't quite finish with that Russell runner. But all in all, it was a very good return. Horse off from October to May, 91 buyer speed figure. This was a horse they've done wonders with. Was running from maiden 12.5 at one point.
Augusta Melody was odds on this day, got the jump after setting those slow fractions. I like that Bandcamp really kept digging and got up for second. It was a really solid performance. He runs well on wet. He runs well on dirt. Sometimes you worry that maybe they bounce off of a big effort first off of the layoff, but I just trust Bandcamp in here. He is a hard hitter that's hit the board in his last 8 starts. Classic Joke is a really interesting horse for Farrier. Second off the claim. I love horses cutting back to 7/8. I think this horse can show speed in a race that doesn't have much.
When Play Harder got scratched, who I thought was going to be, they're going to be aggressive with that when Bandcamp go ahead and stalk, and it could have been a lineup of Annette Eubanks runners. Okay, now I got to change things up a little bit. I'm looking. I'm like, you know what, Classic Joke. 9 posts, and he shortened up, turned it back from the mile and a 16th to the 7/8. But look who he had to chase in that race, and he had to be used wide into the first turn. Point Doom, really, really quick.
Those fractions were silly, and he kept going. Point Doom was awesome.
And this guy made a move into it and stayed around. I got to think he's forward today. Instruction is going to be get position early, cruise, maybe even get the lead and nurse. This horse, I think, can hang and take pressure against this type.
I think Exploration is sort of hoping that maybe this ground is a little firmer by the time his race comes along, because he just didn't show that sort of tactical speed that he did last time out. And we talked about that was the Bandcamp race. When you go 23-2 with no run-up and you're 10 lengths behind, you just simply have too much to do. And Exploration had too much to do, but he did pass some tired horses. He's lightly raced with upside. This is his second start of the form cycle. I think Shelton can get him a little bit closer while outside and in the clear.
Yeah, he showed some grit when he scored in that 2-back try, the first level allowance. Steadied start, 4 to 5 wide grind. He was put to a ride there and just kept kind of going and going and going, was able to get up. We'll see if he can bounce back off of that poor performance at Pimlico. War Master, he's perfect at the distance. He's another one that likes to see things kind of set up. When he's sprinting, he got it 3 races back with those internals of 22 and 4:45 and 2. I don't think he's going to get those today, but he's an honest sort for Jamie Ness.
Yeah, and the route to sprint move works perfectly for him. It resulted in that win 3 back, but you have to be concerned if there isn't a lot of pace. We'll see if Bandcamp can do it second off the layoff. We both have him on top. 3-2-1-4 for Keith, 3-7-1-4 for me. Let's move on to an interesting race. Race number 9 is on the turf this afternoon. We're going 5.5 furlongs. It's a maiden claimer for fillies and mares 3 and up, 16 down to 12.5, with the Maryland breds eligible for the 20,000 tag. Take out the 7 Gala Rose. I want to start things off with Claire Court, a horse that you've been kind of chasing, waiting to get on the turf. Finally gets her opportunity today for Madison Myers, the number 2.
Lapidus, you're late. I saw you sneaking in here. You're late. Claire Court, though, yeah, I've been just enter scratch. It's been a couple times, but you know what? This is the move. I wanted 5.5 on the turf. The last race, just wrangled back, shuffled 4.5, going back to March at Colonial. I called that. No, that was just a brutal trip. Again, you want to learn about some trips, go to our website. William Humphrey does a great job describing the trips of these horses that are running today, each and every day at Laurel Park. But Claire Court, the breeding is there, collected, maybe a little bit better percentage with the horses going longer on the turf. I'm fine with this. Bottom side, mare 3 for 14, 9 for 14 on the turf. Top of 85. I don't know if there's a slew of speed in here. I'm going to say that we're going to go ahead and go with Claire Court. Get position early. Maybe he doesn't have to try to go coast to coast, but I think this transition over the turf course with Sheldon Russell, Madison Myers, Sheldon Russell combination, it's a good one. It's a profitable one. It's at a good rate. I'm going to take the shot here to 10-1 morning line.
Half to Massive, who was a good two-year-old on turf and a stakes quality runner. I think Claire Court's going to be forward. I think my top selection, the 6, Pabst Little Patriot, is going to be forward as well, despite turning back in distance. This horse was just way too eager in his last 2 starts, going 2 turns. She blasted out to a big lead against the boys 2 back and was likely overmatched in that race. And then last time out was just pulling and would not settle. And Toledo just finally, I think, put this horse out in the 5 path after getting his shoulders ripped off for the first half mile, and then basically wrapped up on her in the stretch. I don't think really we got to the bottom of Pabst Little Patriot that day. Turning back in distance, if she can run at all, maybe she can. She's run 5 times. She hasn't shown a ton of ability. I think she has a little bit of speed, though. And Milan Milosevic has good numbers with these turf horses. I want to give this horse one more chance.
I think this horse, if she decides to rate a little bit better, can certainly make a run. I don't know if she's a speed type in here, but looking at the race, she could be definitely closer than what she was last time. I like that comment Bill puts in there, rank kept wide. It's a wake-up. Go back and watch these videos. We're trying to paint you a picture when we use the shorter comments in the Racing Forum and the Equibase PPs. Go back and take an extra look. You can come up with some really good horses and be rewarded with your research. Yeah, Claire Court's my top selection. Tell agents a horse I know a lot of people are going to use.
Quiz Wiz down towards the inside is a horse we should talk about because Lasix on, getting back to turf and a trainer stat for Aaron McClellan. Experienced runners getting Lasix for the first time. 20%, a 373 ROI. Quiz Liz actually showed a little bit of speed in the debut at Delaware, going 2 turns. I thought that was a pretty good race. I'm not interested in the dirt race, and I wonder if this horse just comes back as a 3-year-old, bigger and stronger.
I like the fact she went to a foreign track. She's Penn National base, rolled into Delaware. Now, granted, it was a shorter field, but did take plenty of action. The middle move going 2 turns. The 1 turn, the Lasix on. Couple things going in the favor of Quiz Wiz.
Isn't a lot of turf form in here. Kisses for Kate's actually earned a 33 buyer and a maiden special. The key here, 2 angles. 3 angles, actually.
Okay.
Drop in class, Lasix on, second off the bench.
Okay, use that one to make a run from off the pace. That horse was on my ticket and then off.
Feel the Bolt, maybe?
Yeah, Feel the Bolt, maybe. Kobe's Hope is a horse I kind of threw into the mix as well. First off the claim, they like something there with Kobe's Hope. Mare only ran once, but just missing a good figure on the turf.
Interesting race to be sure from a pace standpoint to see if these horses handle surface switches or distance switches. You're going with Claire Court, 2, 1, 8, and 6. I'm hoping Pabst Little Patriot settles a little better, turning back in distance and maybe lets them run away from her a little bit early, but I want her second or third. Okay. 6, 1, 9, 3 for me in race number 9. Race number 10 is our feature race of the day, and boy, is it a good one. It's the $100,000 Stormy Blues Stakes for 3-year-old fillies going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. Take out the 1, Make Haste, the 10, Not Too Late, the 12, Miss Notion. Angel Cruz will be aboard the 6, Impulse Buy. J-Rod on the 7, Slightly Busy. Ismario Villalobos on the 13, Shakara Fire. Let's start with your top selection in here. The number 8, Roja, who switched to turf and really liked it. Yeah. And this is a striking performance for Roja.
Yeah, and what I liked, showed that speed. Emotion horses, a lot of them aren't really stuff ready to go with that kind of early leg. This one was sharp early and took back and rated kindly. Was just up into the inside of the leader. Had to take back. I like the rebid here. Confidently handled and just rolls up the inside with J-Rod. She's going to run away and hide from this field. Really strong buyer. 82, 4 1/4 when it's all said and done. And we're going to show you a little stat after we get done this video regarding Mr. Motion.
I mean, this
Pretty
is
good.
this is a perfect trip, but you have to love
Yeah.
the way this horse just sprints on home. And I talked to Graham earlier this week, and he said when Irad rode this horse at Keeneland, Irad got off and said this horse needs to be on the turf, and boy, it worked. Graham last out maiden winners. He knows where to put him. 33% winners, a 216 ROI. Roja, a very dangerous contender. Slightly busy is where I'm going to go in here. The number 7 for Amelia Green, who was a Todd Pletcher assistant, gone out on her own, has had a good amount of success. I liked what Slightly Busy did last time out against New York bred. She returned off of a layoff. She showed some good speed, but a lot of agility. She was outside, dropped into the pocket, altered course off heels to get outside the pace setter, and then sprinted on home. This is a big class test.
Yeah, this is a class test, but I like to be able to get position from that. Her post finished up, certainly a good number. Amelia Green doing very, very good work. If you're looking for prices in this race, how about the 11, Biscuit with the Boss? This is akin to Maserati, a full to Maserati. Hasn't been seen since December, but it's perfect on the turf. Won its lone start 2 races back in an A. Other than over this turf course, we talked about the improvement 2 to 3. And did it from a little further off the pace than we're familiar with. Maserati, who's usually right up on it. I think she can kind of be any kind. I think she's going to make a jump. We saw Maserati make like a 15-point jump second time on the turf. Maybe this will work here for Biscuit with the Boss.
I don't want to sleep on the 9 strong like Sarah, who's coming down for John Service, who always seems to have some success down here. This horse ran on dirt. Stakes placed last time out against Arkansas breds. I thought the race on synthetic 2-back was really the kicker for me. This horse was hung out 5 wide on the backstretch and entering the turn, made a sweeping run and kept right on rolling along. Has to prove that she can do it on turf.
Yeah.
Sometimes that synthetic form translates. I think Caramanos can be aggressive. What do you make of Gata Brazil?
Yeah, this is what I wanted to ask you. Obviously, I think this is going to be a change of tactics from what we saw at Aqueduct, going to 3/4 of a mile, maybe a little sharp coming off the 5.5 at Laurel. That was a good effort against Mischief Maxie. The blinkers went on last time. Maybe they tweaked that a little bit. I think you're going to see this horse come up from a little bit further back, finish up over a course that she has run well on.
I'm not going to put too much stock on that last race. The top 3 finishers of that race were 8th, 5th, and 9th after the opening quarter. I think Gata Brazil just went way too fast on the lead against tougher company. I think she's going to revert to those rating tactics. And quickly we'll talk about Impulse Buy, who might be one of the favorites in this race, if not the outright favorite. Just really strong lines on the dirt. We'll see how she handles turf.
We're guessing. We talked about this earlier. You know, to go deeper in the family, not a slew of turf, but I respect Brissett anytime bringing a horse around here. Top side is Spitestown. They can run on broken glass, and this horse is proven without Lasix. Vicious Gossip, I think the 5 is interesting, is going to be a horse that's going to be winging out on the front end.
8, 11, 4, and 9 for Keith. 7, 8, 9, and 4 for me. I'll focus on the 7, 8, and 9 and multiple race wagers. Let's close things out. Race number 11, 1-turn mile on the main. Nickel Claimer, non-winners of 1 year. Take out the 5, Dare Divide. Let's start things off with my top selection, the 2, Midnight Renegade. We do have a trainer stat for Claudio Gonzalez. First off the claim recently, good numbers, 36%, 211 ROI. I've been chasing this horse for a long time. Maybe I'm going one too many times. I thought last time out it was a race that was dominated by speeds. They went 1, 2, 3, 4 around the track, and this horse tried to rally.
Yeah, and his best race was 3 races back going this 1-turn mile. I think the road, I'll take one final shot. Kickstarting, it's going to be a short price. Just got beat up at Parks last time out. Comes back to the 1-turn. Winner there came back to run well, 66. The race also produced a winner. Can't get that thought of Strancina the way he dominated on the front end going the 1-turn mile the other day. Maybe Kickstartness will do the same.
Way the horse to beat Kickstartness from a speed figure standpoint. It's just that he can be had. We've seen him lose at short prices in the past, but he's obviously a logical threat. Formal Order is just a rock-solid horse, a horse that might need a little bit of pace help.
Yeah, I think he can close into it. Value time?
8274 for you, 2874 for me. Value time. We're getting set for our jumps.
Yeah, we're getting set. 22 minutes until post time. Race 9, number 2, Claire Court is going to be my value shot. We talked about the breeding and the trouble trip down to Colonial. I think this horse, I've been waiting for this horse to get on the turf. catches a field pretty devoid of some speed. Let's get to the front and keep going.
My value play is a little bit earlier on in the card. It's on the main track. Let's take a look at my value play right now because my memory isn't what it used to be. General Maximus is race number 5. I like this horse a little bit. I want to give him one more chance. Outside stalking trip, 6-1 on the morning line. 22 minutes to post for race number 1. The main track is good. The turf course is firm. We've got 11 races. We've got 3 pick 5 wagers with a low 12% takeout. We've got 2 special steeplechase races. The first time we've had steeplechase racing at Laurel Park in 25 years. We've got Kelly Francois, Mackenzie Pfeiffer, and the great Dave Rodman to take you through the action. And let's go up to Dave Rodman for scratches and changes.
Good luck and happy Father's Day.
Good morning and happy Father's Day from Laurel Park. "20 minutes to post time, main track rated good, and the turf is firm. Light winds out of the east, temperature in the mid-60s here in Maryland. Here's a look at your program changes. First race, maiden hurdle. Scratch the alternates 11, 12, and 13. Maryland Moon, just another one, and rejection hurts. 11, 12, and 13 out of the first. Second race, allowance hurdle race, no changes. Third race, no changes. In the fourth, scratch 1, Carolina Sun. Scratch 2, On a Proud Note. Scratch the 6, Peony. Jockey on the 10, Sippin' Time. Jean Braseno now on the 10, Sippin' Time. Jockey on 13, Monster Summer. Andres Chavez, jockey on 13, Monster Summer. Scratch 16, Afterneath. In the fifth, number 3, Big Ton 10, jockey Angel Cruz, jockey on the 3, Big Ton 10. Scratch number 8, Scrappy T. Lee. In the sixth, start of the pick 6, Jackpot Super High 5 race. 8, Stormy Flight is 1 over. 10, Captain Dusty, jockey Jamie Rodriguez on the 10. The 11, Curry, 2 over. And scratch number 12, Seaver. Seventh race. Number 1, Wicolia Lady, jockey Yomar Ortiz on the 1. Scratch 4, Lilliput. Scratch 12, Lord's Lady. Owner correction, 13, Hysterics, owned by Sheffield Stable and Kieran McGee. Turning to the 8th race. Number 3, Bandcamp. Jockey Jevion Toledo on number 3, Bandcamp. Scratch 6, Play Harder. 9th race. Scratch 7, Gala Rose. Number 10, Miss Smarty Z, 2 over. The 11 runs, Impetus Echo, 4 pounds over the weight. 10th race, the Stormy Blues Stakes. Scratch number 1, Make Haste. Number 6, Impulse Buy, jockey Angel Cruz on number 6. 7, Slightly Busy, jockey Jamie Rodriguez on the 7. Scratch 10, Not Too Late. Scratch 12, Ms. Notion. Number 13, Scara Fire. Jockey Ismerio Villalobos on 13, Scara Fire. 11th race. Scratch 5, Dare to Bite. Race 11. Now you're up to date on the Laurel Park changes on this Father's Day. Main track rated good at this time. Turf is firm. High Five carryover, $15,983. Chesapeake Pick 6 carryover, $8,063. Our first value Pick 5 starts in the opener, and a reminder, we have added a special value Pick 5. It begins today in the third race. Races 3 through 7 with a mandatory payout. Special Father's Day value Pick 5 starts in race 3 today. Good luck this afternoon at Laurel Park.
And welcome to racing here on Father's Day. Of course, we've got a special couple things going. We have some special different kind of value pools for you. We also have some jump racing to kick things off. And Mackenzie, we are going to get things started, of course, with